EA Sports coverage of the NFL has come to East Asia in the bustling metropolis that is Tokyo, Japan. Tonight we kick off Week 6 with a great Thursday night matchup, as it'll be the Denver Broncos taking on the Dragons of Tokyo. Set to go now in Week 6 of the NFL season, and we are underway on EA Sports. And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line. And he'll be brought down right on the chalk of the 20. Play action. Now it's Mahomes. That's complete. It's Travis Kelce. And he is out of bounds right around the 34. 14 yards there on the first play from scrimmage. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. They'll run out of the gun with Pacheco. It's a gain of 11 yards that time, and it produces a new set of downs. Well, no slow start here. A couple nice chunk plays back-to-back.
I love the momentum that they're showing here early because they did it both ways, right? Threw the ball on 1st down for a nice chunk of yardage. Came right back and ran the ball. Looks like they've got the defense set back on their heels. Let's see if they can keep this moving.
Got the defense on their heels. 2 first downs in a row, and now a pickup of 8. Ball on the 47-yard line. Here's 2nd down and 2. Here's Mahomes to throw. And seeing nowhere to throw, he chucks this one away from harm. Incomplete. Now it's 3rd down. When you look at this Bronco defense, they really played well a week ago in that win over the Jets.
And I'm eager to see the game plan and trying to attack them this week, because when you take it away 4 times through interceptions, do you now decide that I can't throw the ball against this team and try and run it like crazy? Or do you challenge them? This is going to be fun. As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
Here's Tommy Townsend on to punt. And this is going to hit the goal line and continue on into the end zone for a touchback. So 1st and 10 here for Wilson and the Broncos at their own 20-yard line. A man who was lost for the year in Week 4 last season. Here's Javonte Williams. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. He was solid last week, over 100 yards in their victory on the ground. They want to get that going again.
Absolutely. What they also understand is that from week to week, it's not necessarily the same, but they want it to be, right? What they saw last week on the ground, they want to see in this game as well.
And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a 1st down.
2nd and inches is oftentimes an invitation for an offense coordinator to take a big shot downfield because he feels like he can come back on 3rd down and pick up the 1st down. But sometimes you just don't want to break tendency. Stay with what you are, stay with who you know, and go get the 1st down. That's exactly what they did.
2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
That was well played there defensively. 2 tight ends in the formation, which essentially gave them 7 blockers up front. Hard to imagine with all that size and beef that they could let a tackler through, but that's exactly what happened. A loss resulted.
So the 1st down run lost a couple. Now they come up 2nd and 12. Now they'll throw it with Wilson. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
He kind of forced that one there, didn't he? It's almost like he predetermined where he was going to go with the football.
Yeah, and he wasn't really going through progressions. He wanted to go to his top guy. You do that against this defense, they'll make you pay, won't they?
Yeah, they certainly will. They react very quickly to the thrown football.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Here's Wilson. And that will be incomplete.
Nice back-to-back plays defensively. They're stacking momentum now. One incompletion, two incompletion. They're going for more.
Fourth down, so on is the punter, Riley Dixon. Waiting on it will be Richie James. Fielded just inside the 30. Avoids him at the 40. A very good kick there, but 15 yards on the return. And they will take over 1st and 10. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. And they come into this one off the loss over the weekend, but you say if you're going to play a Thursday night game, this is the week to do it.
It certainly is, because you get right back out there. You don't have time to dwell on things. And look, your game plan is going to be a little more limited, but so is theirs. So that's when you just appeal to your top players. Guys, you make plays in this one, we out-execute them, we can walk away with a win.
An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Looking to throw is Mahomes. He'll check this one down to Pacheco. On the move past the 40. Still going. Touchdown! Isaiah Pacheco with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Dragons put the Knights' first points on the board as they take the early lead. Well, he's used to running it that distance. Here he had to catch it, too, before making the run. Heck of a play for the score.
There's not many things better for an offense than a back who's a complete guy who can run it and catch it. And we just saw him complete a big-time play for a touchdown.
Extra point by Butker is on target, and that makes the score 7-0. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. Denver offense at the line, ready to go. They come off a victory over the weekend, but now the quick turnaround here for this Thursday night game. How does that affect how teams like this approach these short turnarounds?
Well, wins and losses always factor into, how you're getting ready for the next game. But equally as important when you have the short turnaround, what is your injury situation? Are you losing key guys? And if so, how well have the backups prepared for this? Because you don't have much time to get them ready. They have to be ready before this week in order to play well in this game.
Now a deep ball there on 2nd down, but it'll wind up incomplete. When you look at this defense, this crew against the pass, issues at times, ranked number 24, Charles, in the NFL.
When they lack in pass defense, they do make up for in run defense. They're a top 10 unit against some people trying to move the ball on the ground. But this is a passing league, so there's a conundrum for them. How do they get better defending the pass?
This one complete to Jerry Jeudy. And he will have the Broncos first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. So finally completes his first pass. Credit the defense, though. They've been showing him some different looks, keeping him off balance.
Yeah, I like the observation that you had there, because when you give him different looks and give any quarterback different looks, it takes just a little bit longer to process sometimes, and you don't throw the ball with the same confidence. You're not sure that that's where you should go with the football, and that's worked for the defense early in this game, and now he's got his first completion. Let's see if his confidence comes back and he starts to get into a nice little groove.
Ball on the 39. Here's the 2nd and 8. Throwing is Wilson. And that falls to the ground, incomplete. A nice job of bodying him up defensively, and now it brings up 3rd down.
That's an excellent play by the defender. He diagnosed that one, closed quickly, and helped force the incompletion.
On 3rd down, Wilson. Under pressure, and down he goes. Wilson in the offense, not coming off the field. They're going for it on 4th. Now on 4th down, we've got a whistle here and a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. Riley Dixon now to punt it away. On the return, it's James. A nice return that time, gets 12 yards back. And out will come the offense as they take over. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. They've got a 7-0 lead in the football as well as they start out 1st and 10. And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. Nice way to start the drive, a gain of 12 and a 1st down. If you start assessing what went wrong last week, Charles, in their loss, had nothing to do with the ground game. They ran it well. And you also have to say to yourself as a team, don't go away from what worked. That's not the reason the game was lost. Running the football over time, when you do it consistently, usually translates into wins. And they're hoping to do it consistently here. Boy, left that first defender grasping at air as he winds up getting a full 8 yards on that play. Well, they're making an effort to get the ground game going tonight. So far, it's working. I like what we're seeing from the offensive line. They seem to have the leverage going, and they're controlling things and reestablishing the line of scrimmage, moving that defensive front backwards. They also like what the runner's getting us, too. It appears that he's been waiting all day long to get out here and take off. Now Patrick going to change the play. On 1st and 10, here's Pacheco. And tough sledding. He'll get maybe a yard. Stop short of the 35. This defense for the Broncos, they really played well a week ago in that win over the Jets.
And I'm eager to see the game plan and trying to attack them this week, because when you take it away 4 times through interceptions, what do you do now when you go into a game? Do you decide you can't throw the ball? Do you try and run it more? Or do you tell your quarterback, make sure you see your guys open before you deliver?
A quick throw now complete to Ross. And this is going to be another 1st down as they'll make the tackle at the Broncos' 15-yard line. A gain there of 21 yards. After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. Line of scrimmage, the 15. It's 1st and 10.
15.
Now Mahomes. Got an open man. It's Valdez-Scantling. Man, this play gets blown up. They'll lose yardage. Back at the 17. A run by Pacheco on 2nd down. 45 yards rushing for him now to this point.
On a 2nd and long, it's really nice to see an offense that has enough confidence to run the football in that situation. I think that goes back to their practice and game planning. They've seen things that they've seen on tape and in previous games that led them to believe that even in a long-distance situation, they can still run the football and gain enough yardage to put themselves in the game.
And he will fake his way into the end zone for a touchdown. Isaiah Pacheco with his 2nd touchdown of the game, number 8 on the season. And the Dragons go up by 2 touchdowns.
We see this a lot on 3rd and short yardage, especially down here in the red zone. They're going to sell out to stop the run, try and hold them to a field goal. But once the running back gets past the first wave, the resistance can evaporate after that. And he not only picks up the first, but he takes it all the way into the end zone.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And Smith not going to bring it out, so it's a touchback. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. 3-2, their record through the first 5 games of the year as they got the victory last week. It's still early, just October, but what have you seen from these guys so far?
Well, what I've seen is a team that's still figuring out all their pieces, because they've got some new faces from a year ago, add in some new draft picks. Sometimes it takes a month or so before you really start to gel as a team, and for those players to figure out their roles. But right now, I see them starting to elevate.
Now Wilson on second down. That's to the rookie, Marvin Mims. So the pitch and catch good for 11. And they'll be faced with a 3rd and inches. To throw is Wilson. And that is incomplete.
Well, this first half has not gone according to plan so far, offensively or even defensively for that matter. They could use a big-time spark somewhere, but it's not going to come on this drive as they have to punt this one away.
And in their own territory, needing only a few inches, they're going to line up to go for this thing on 4th down. They'll try and throw for it with Wilson. Into the hands of Patrick left side. And he's going to be out of bounds right at midfield. They only needed a few inches, but still some anxious moments there, but they do convert on 4th. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. From midfield now, here's Wilson. That's complete. It's Greg Dulcich. Yeah, he'll be out just a yard or two shy of the 30. Chewing up big yardage. Another nice gain there. This one goes for 20.
Well, these guys have definitely been outplayed in the first half. I like their countenance. I like the way that they're having panicked out there, the way they're carrying themselves. They're starting to move the ball, and what you have to do, maintain your poise and start to put together some drives.
And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2.
Just about every quarterback is trained to really look downfield first before you come back and make a nice, safe throw. And in this case, that's exactly what he did. Found his running back, let him create some space, and it turned out to be a nice play for the offense.
Trying to bounce it outside, but he's only able to get it back to the line of scrimmage. He got maybe a half yard at most, but officially they'll be left with a 3rd and 2.
The running lanes have definitely not been there for him here in the first half, and I don't think it's all been his fault. His offensive line hasn't given him much space. A loss results there.
They're trying to keep the drive going. This will be play number 8. It's 3rd and 2. Now Wilson. Oh, it's intercepted. A drive killer there. Down the numbers. There he goes. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. Well, the way things have been going to this one, Charles, it was only a matter of time before this defense got involved and made a big play, and they do right there. Gosh, this lead is so large, CD, and we're only in the first half.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing that's so amazing about it. You mentioned this large lead. How's this their first takeaway of the game? And what a spectacular one it was. Adding to the lead, showing the true dominance, and you're exactly right. We're still in the first half.
Extra point by Butker is on target, and that makes the score 21-0. So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. Denver offense at the line, ready to go. And they are trying to create some separation within the division. And look, CD, I know that this is still the first half of the season, but this is a big matchup no matter where it falls because these are the top two teams right now in that division.
And if you can build a bit of a cushion as you head towards the second part of the season, that allows you to survive the expected injuries, potential upset losses, all of those things, and still be in good shape.
So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. Play action. Now Wilson. Blitz coming, and down he goes. That winds up pushing him back 11 yards on the sack. And that'll bring up 3rd. It's 3rd and long now for Wilson and the Broncos after that sack. Looking to throw. Wilson. And he's caught on the sideline, but he's not going to have a first down. They say he was out of bounds. So a big call there that brings up 4th. So the challenge not a successful one, as this will stay an incomplete pass. Dixon, the punter, is on as he sends it away. 42 yards on the punt, just 2 on the return. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown their last time out. Looking to repeat. There he goes, right side. Down the sideline he goes. Touchdown! Isaiah Pacheco on his way to a monster game. 3 first-half touchdowns. And the Dragons are able to widen their lead here in this first half. Extra point by Butker is on target, and that makes the score 28-0. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And Smith chooses not to return it, and they'll bring it out to the 25. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And these guys definitely hoping for a better showing than their last appearance. They couldn't really even move the football much beyond the shadows of their own goalpost, Charles. We'll see if they can get a better, more sustained drive going here.
Yeah, and every team that we ever talk to says the exact same thing. When you start a drive from that deep in your own territory, the goal is a minimum of at least 2 first downs, because even if you have to punt then, you change the field position, right? You flip the field a little bit. They didn't get that done. This time they want to string together a nice drive and help themselves out.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. Here's Wilson to throw. Dancing to his left. And he'll get this up past the 25 before he's out of bounds. He'll end up getting 5 out of that, but now they're looking at 3rd down.
I did like his decision-making there to make sure they picked up something instead of forcing a throw. Now they've got more manageable play coming up to try and pick up the first down. And don't rule out the possibility that he just keeps it and runs again.
Oh, everything falling apart now. Another one intercepted. Deion Bush with a pick. And he will return this one to the 30-yard line. And that now 2 interceptions thrown in the 2nd quarter.
And you know, a lot of people look at these guys and they think to themselves that maybe, possibly, they're still thinking about the first one, and they probably are. I think in this case, he's just trying to atone for the first interception. Tried a little bit too hard, maybe forced it a bit, and instead created a 2nd one.
Quick throw caught out wide by Valdez-Scantling. That one good for 16, and the drive will continue.
So many times in my career, I've heard coaches talk about completions are one thing. As long as we're there at the catch and we get guys on the ground, we can live with that. But if you're going to give up 10, 12, 15 yards after the catch, then your defense is going to be in a lot of trouble.
Line of scrimmage, the 15. It's 1st and 10. Running left to give to Pacheco. And effective running here. He'll take it down inside the 10. 118 yards for him on the ground so far tonight, as he has been terrific in this first half.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
Again, it's Pacheco.
And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. Throwing is Mahomes on third. And it's caught. Touchdown. Travis Kelce, an 11-yard touchdown.
And the Dragons will extend their lead in the final minute of the half.
That score that they just gave up there, that's a tough one for their defense to swallow because they've had a tough time through the first 2 quarters. They really were determined to get a stop there, unable to do so. That makes their comeback hopes that much more difficult.
Extra point by Butker is on target.
And that makes this 35-0 now. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away.
And Smith not going to bring it out, so it's a touchback. Denver offense at the line, ready to go. And with the score where it is, even though I think they'd love to get back to the locker room, they may be forced to try and get something out of this drive.
And he'll just push his way forward for a few as the clock will run.
Chris Jones, the All-Pro, in on the stop.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. Final play of the half. It's Wilson. And his throw's going to be incomplete. So we've reached halftime here in what is quickly turning into quite a rout. As we are off to Orlando
Final
now to
adjustments
check in
being
with
made for
Jonathan
the
Coachman
second
and our
half.
EA
Whether they'll
Sports
amount to much in a
halftime
game
report.
that's
Coach?
already pretty well decided, well, that's another question. Nevertheless, let's get you back out to Brandon and Charles.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. It'll be the Broncos getting the football first in this second half as they trail, and we are back underway. From his end zone, here's Tremon Smith. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And they have a mountainous deficit looming in front of them. It was really, Charles, a disaster of a first half. So where do they go from here?
Well, first thing they have to remember is that what's done is done, and there's no going back. And now you have to play this drive by drive. Obviously, come back in this spot, pretty unlikely. But you still have to go out, take pride in your work, and try and put something together here in the second half.
Throwing now, Wilson on first down. Escaping the pressure right. Outright, this one goes to Patrick. Just his second catch of the game so far. This one moves the chains. Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10. Evades him at the 10. And he's taken down at the 7 after a gain of 7.
He hasn't had a ton of success here so far, but you get the feeling that he might be on the verge of popping one.
Yeah, even on that one, there was a little bit of a hole, but it closed there quickly at the end.
2nd down and 3, ball on the 7.
Wilson. And Wilson's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. This one home. It's a touchdown.
Well, I mean, you get it. They're trying to make something happen here in this 3rd quarter, CD, but I don't think a pick 6 is exactly what they had in mind.
No, not at all, because this offense, they've been stuck all game long. Haven't dented the scoreboard yet, and they're kind of forced to take a few chances here, and that one, it backfired in a big way.
So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6. And now the kick is away.
Denver offense at the line, ready to go. Well, we're still in the third quarter, so there's some time to kind of clean this up and make it look more respectable now. A win, that's probably gone out the window, Charles, but I don't know. Do you look at this as a time to just improve and maybe start to look towards the future?
I think you have to find something to play for, something to grasp onto until the clock runs out. But, Brandon, we've been around this game a long time. This is an outlier. You don't get many blowouts like this no matter how the game looks on paper going in. This one has turned out to be everyone's worst nightmare realized.
Boy, every time I see speed like that off the edge, Charles, I just don't know how these offensive linemen do it. I would think that they would get called for holding every play, and maybe they should have been called for holding on that one.
Yeah, maybe not just holding, but sometimes you end up setting back in the offensive backfield a little bit farther to try and help you with the edge. That's a penalty as well. Sometimes you overset, they'll come inside of you. That's what speed does. It disrupts an offense. And right now, you've got to pay attention to this edge rusher on every single down.
Well, this is just a continuation of what we saw in the first half. So much for the fresh start to begin the third quarter. Still off-target throws, no rhythm throwing the football, and obviously no touchdown scored in this game.
So possession goes over here on the punt. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. Well, this offense, this team, they are rolling right now, Charles. They've scored on 3 straight possessions. You look at the scoreboard, and they pretty much right now got this thing on cruise control.
Yeah, and this is that time of game where you and I have to be prepared, right? Isn't this kind of like that empty the bucket time where you have to go into your blowout material and make sure we have some different things? That's what we're staring at right now, the way this one is going.
Call it a gain of a yard, and it's going to bring up 3rd and 5.
They'll need 5 on this play to move the sticks.
Throwing now is Mahomes. Flush to his right. Now he's going to send this one deep right side. That's caught inside the 20. It's a big play there on 3rd down. 54 yards.
Boy, this has just been an offensive clinic. It's seemingly been one big play after another, and add this one on to the list. When you can bite off more than half the field on one play, things are definitely working in your favor.
Operating from the red zone now, Mahomes. Out to the flat. That's complete to his running back. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. And they're going to hurry back to the line now. Now here's Mahomes. And they're going to get to him. A sack. Sacked back at the 9-yard line.
Finally hauled down for the first time this game. Multiple defenders in there to drop him.
And when you go 5 wide like they just did there, you can't really max protect, can you?
No, you cannot. What you're hoping is that by going 5 wide, you're forcing the defense into coverage. And if you do that, you got a chance to find some people downfield. But if they audible themselves and go into a blitz, then it's got to happen right now,
or
very
lights
quickly.
out.
Or exactly right. Turn them out. That play's over.
Butker's kick here is good. So he's been automatic to this point of the season, and he connects on the field goal there.
And what a luxury it is to have a kicker you can depend upon, partner, because he hasn't missed all year long. Converts on that one as well. And kudos to you. You didn't jinx him.
And Smith chooses not to return it, and they'll bring it out to the 25. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. Well, this has been a tough one for them, Charles. They've struggled really on both sides of the football. And one thing that's really plagued them, the turnovers. They've had issues keeping the football in their possession.
And every game that's ever been played, all coaches talk about taking care of the football and limiting turnovers. And in this one, after we saw that first turnover, we worried that things would snowball, and it certainly did, especially on the scoreboard.
And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. That's a big loss of 3, and it brings up 3rd down.
I think it's pretty evident we can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, He ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they've stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution.
Yeah, and they stopped him behind the line right there. They obviously watched the tape a few times and made some adjustments. They'll set up the screen. This is Williams. And they're able to bring him down at the 20. They'll get only a yard out of that, and it'll bring up 4th down.
Good reactions there defensively. That screen was a little slow in developing, and they shut that one down with little gain.
1 quarter remains here in this Thursday night matchup. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Here's Riley Dixon now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away.
So a good punt there, but a very strong 14-yard return. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. We've paid this offense plenty of compliments already, but, I mean, they are deserving as they start another series. To be leading by this much with so much time left to play in the fourth, Charles, it's really been impressive to watch.
It has been, and you have to think to yourself, the preparation that went into this, but the absolute focus that they kept throughout in order to have this kind of a result. This is Super Bowl-esque, and they've got to feel awfully good about what they put out there today.
126 yards on the ground for him now as he has gotten better, really, as the night's gone on.
Caught the defense off guard there a bit on 2nd and long, but now you still have to deal with 3rd and long.
Yeah, you do, but you feel pretty good about the last play, don't you? And maybe it gives you a little bit of confidence dialing up the next one that maybe your team will believe in it when you send it in.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. He'll be brought down by the Broncos. It's a sack.
DJ Jones
in there to get him for a loss of 9 yards, and that also leads to 4th down.
On is the punter Townsend as he gets this one away.
That'll be a 44-yard boot, just a yard on the return as he's covered up quickly. And the Broncos take over, 1st down and 10. Denver offense at the line, ready to go. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points.
And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception.
It's Joshua Williams with a pick.
And he'll bring this one back to the 29. Yet another mistake after the interception there. And, gosh, you look up at the scoreboard, they just got to be thinking this one cannot get over fast enough.
It certainly can't. And also what happens when you get this big of a deficit, you're supposed to make all the right throws, right? You're supposed to try and obviously get the ball to your own guys. But being down this big, you also take even more chances. And in this situation, that hasn't paid off for them at all.
On the other sideline, jubilation and laughter.
And he's able to work his way down inside the red zone to the 19-yard line.
Give him 10 yards there, and about by the nose of the football, he's going to have a 1st down.
Here's Pacheco once again.
And he's able to work it here to the 8-yard line. It's a good gain of 11, sets him up 1st and goal.
Brendan, every great running backs coach I've talked with has always talked about when you have great vision, you're not consciously thinking about your cuts and your moves. You're just doing them. And I think that's what we're seeing tonight. He's about running them into submission.
You took the words. And he will take this one in for a touchdown.
Isaiah Pacheco, his 7th rushing touchdown on the year. And the Dragons look like they're going to get back in the win column as they extend their lead here in this 4th quarter. Some good running there at the end of the drive. He had the burst that set up the 1st and goal, and then one play later, he's in the end zone.
Brandon, what I liked about that sequence is I'm not sure who made the play call, but they understood the situation, understood the momentum. A nice hard-charging run, give it right back to him and let him cap things off.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And Smith not going to bring it out, so it's a touchback. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. At this point, partner, things looking pretty bleak. They still haven't scored here in the fourth quarter, facing the big deficit. Just what silver linings, what can they look to do here offensively?
You know, it's funny, I talked about this with a coach in the offseason and kind of had this scenario, like what feels good to you and what feels good to your team. You're down big. You really have like one possession left, and you're trying to put points on the board that don't matter. But do they? And he told me they actually do matter. And in this situation, he's going to try and run the best offense he can run, have at least a little bit of confidence to take away from that game. So right now, they're going to try their best to get something up on the board and not get shut out.
He'll get only 3 there, so it leaves him with a 3rd and 7 ahead. Seems pretty obvious defensively a key was stopping the run game. How have they done it so successfully?
To me, it seems that these guys really did a nice job of paying attention during the scouting report meeting. And you know, Brandon, when they do those, they talk about the top plays that these guys like to run. The best runs for the top running back, those are the ones you focus on and want to take away. And they've done that pretty successfully in this game.
Here's Riley Dixon now, as he'll come on to kick for a 6th time tonight. And they call it 38 yards on the punt, no return. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. Well, CD, you and I do a lot of games together, but it is pretty rare that we do a game of this margin. I mean, this has just been total domination from start until now, and I don't think they're going to take their foot off the gas at this point.
Do you think that on the sideline, some jokester said to one of his teammates, maybe a few of them, hey, we're up 50. Why not go for 100? You think maybe that line was uttered on the sideline? I can't believe what we're seeing here. An NFL game this lopsided.
On the move past the 40, and finally brought down at the 31-yard line. 28 yards the gain there on the catch and run. Pacheco gets it up the gut. And for one of the first times tonight, he's going to be held up at the line of scrimmage. And they're going to speed things up here. Interesting, Mahomes wants to throw it to Valdez-Scantling over the middle. And this is going to be another first down as they'll make the tackle at the Broncos 18. 12 yards there as they move the chains. So from inside the 20, here's 1st and 10 at the 18. They run it with Pacheco from the gun. It's a loss of 4 there, bringing up 2nd down. And Mahomes sees something. He'll change the play. On 2nd down, here's Mahomes. Open man, it's the tight end, Kelsey. That puts him in excellent position, 1st and goal after a gain of 19. Quite the turnaround from a week ago where he threw 4 interceptions. He hasn't had an interception this game, and he told us during the week, my goal, goose egg. He's achieving that so far.
And what we're seeing is a guy that you can win with.
Under pressure now, and he's going to go down just inside the 5-yard line.
For the winning team here, Charles, that's about as big and clean of a win as you could hope for in the National Football League. No turnovers. Meanwhile, you forced turnovers. You didn't allow any points, and you put up a bunch of points. What an effort.
And, Brandon, I just have to ask you, that's all the stuff that we saw happen today. Those are statistics, numbers, the whole deal. But my question is, how does one team come ready to play, and the other one, obviously, not ready at all?
Well, I mean, I obviously don't have an answer to that, but that was the story from the get-go. One side was awake and ready, and the other just seemed to sleep.
So for the home team here, their good start continues as they get their record up to 4-2. And they'll get a few extra days to get ready for next week. Meanwhile, for Denver, the loss here will move them back to 500 at 3-3. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week. So for our entire crew, alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.